Hello, everyone. This is Tom Painter. Welcome to the successandmoneyfoundation.org. As you know, we're a nonprofit educational foundation. We teach kids, teens, young adults, and adults about success and money. And our job is to help you to have a better life. And Josh, you could take that slide down now if you'd like. So congratulations, welcome. Thank you for being here. As part of a nonprofit educational foundation, my wife are the co-founders of that foundation. And we had a big decision to make. Almost 10 years ago, we started the foundation. 5 years ago, when I turned 60, I had a big decision. I could go build another big company, which was really fun. I love doing that. It's lots of fun working with a lot of people and doing amazing things and media and marketing and bringing a product to market. Or I could go build a foundation. And I decided to build a foundation because I knew that if I was sitting on my rocking chair out on the porch, what would I regret not trying? And I've already done everything else. That y'all have a bucket list. You need a bucket list of things to do, and pretty much everything on my bucket list. I've been to 50 countries. I've been around the world going east. I've been around the world going west. I've zigzagged through it. I've been all over China. I've been to Tibet. I haven't been to South Africa. I've been to North Africa, Egypt, and things like that, but I haven't been to South Africa. But I know pretty much what it's going to be like. And I haven't been to South America, but I've been to Central America. I get an idea what it says. It's enough that it's not massive on my list. All the stuff I've ever wanted to do, but the one thing still on my list. There's two things on my bucket list. Number one is to help my kids do the things that's on their bucket list and my grandkids, and we're doing that. I've taken my kids. I have 5 kids, 3 of them. I have 2 special needs kids, which is kind of a challenge to travel. So when we travel around the world, we go to Florida and go to Epcot. That's how we show them the different parts of the world. My other 3 kids, I've taken them all over the world as teenagers and in early 20s. So they've seen the world. So that's done. The other thing that's on my bucket list is to help you. You're going to learn, earn, and return. And you're going to do those 3 things your whole life. You're going to learn, you're going to earn, and you're going to return. I was listening to audio tapes yesterday. I am earning. Most of my earning now is more passive. I get to do that with partners. And then I'm returning. I'm spending the time doing stuff. I met with a good friend of mine, Keith, that I've known for decades. A big supporter of the foundation. He has a school, and we're getting this information into his school. And it was fun. I gave him the books that we've done and all the books we've written. We've written those books as a bonus for you. I wrote them for the foundation. You can go to Amazon. There's 2 new ones we just really updated and changed. We want this to be so inexpensive that you can get them on Amazon, and you can get the Success and Money Secrets book. It's color. It has a lot of white space, and there's hardly any paragraphs in it. And you can get that for $9.97 delivered to you, if you're on Prime. And then we took the 3 books in one, where we added the book summaries as well as the famous quotes and the 50 additional success secrets into a little bit bigger book, and that's $12.97. And we made that so it's so inexpensive, but it's color. It's easy to read and easy to understand. So that's what I'm doing now. That's what's the last thing really on my big old bucket list is to get those things done. And that's why we do what we do. My wife says, "Why are you doing all this?" Well, because it's something I just got to do. And you talk about what's your purpose in life. Well, there's lots of purposes. There's not just one purpose. Your purpose is to earn for your family. Your purpose is to be a good family person. Your purpose is to be a good husband or wife and a good parent. My friend Robert Allen says that good parents give their kids good memories. Bad parents give their kids bad memories. Zig Ziglar says that the only way that you can get what you want out of life is to help other people get what they want out of life. Well, that's what we're doing here. The Success and Money Foundation.org is a nonprofit educational foundation. We teach kids, teens, young adults, and adults about success and money. Well, because most likely you skipped those classes in school. And you're not going to learn it in school. They're not going to teach you this stuff in school. They're going to teach you other stuff, but they're not going to teach you this. They're going to teach you trigonometry and all kinds of humanities and stuff like that doesn't do you any good. It's one of life's mysteries of why know that. So we're not that smart. We're not that academic, but we're doers and we make stuff happen. Most millionaires, the millionaires next door, the people that really have the money are not the big flashy, really nice watch and beautiful clothes and fancy car and fancy house, because all those are just opposite of what creates wealth. Now, they might be making a lot of money, but they don't have any wealth. Wealth is walkaway money. Wealth is where money grows on trees and then somebody picks the fruit for you. Okay. So that's what we're trying to do now. Celebrating 40 years, we're staying at this wonderful hotel. And what's interesting is the right next door is one of the buildings that I was a partner in. I owned part of that building. It's right here on the sand in Carlsbad, California, San Diego. And I was a partner in 3 buildings that were right here on the sand or right on the bluff. Beautiful buildings. And it's just amazing to think of the things that we've done over that period of time. And the reason I'm telling you this is because all of us have a date on your headstone, a date you're born and a date you're going to die. But what you don't see are all the dots in between. And every one of those dots represents something that you've done, experienced, been to. It's all the things that you've done. They say that when you die, your whole life passes before your eyes. Well, that's really true. You simply pull out your phone and look at your pictures. And if your pictures are good pictures, then you lived a good life. If your pictures are bad pictures, or you haven't really accomplished anything, then you probably didn't have a very fulfilling life. You know, being successful is opposite of what you see on TV. The drama and the crap you see on TV is really not what real success is. You know, just remember that when you're watching TV or you're watching social media, their job is to get your eyeballs. Their job is to get you to watch because that's how they make money. Their job is to show you a car wreck, because when you're driving down the road and there's a car wreck, everybody watches. Their job is to get your eyeballs because that's how they get paid. Okay, that's it. Nobody wants to drive down and see somebody doing some good works on the side, because that's not crazy, you know. It's not a car wreck. Car wrecks don't make you money. So just be aware that's the way it is. So when you're watching here in America, we've got an election coming up in less than 2 weeks, and it's ugly, and everybody's yelling at each other, and everybody's telling each other that they're stupid. My way's the way to do it. And it's just kind of crazy. You got through all that, and you got to listen to successful people and do what they do. Your job is to help you, your family, and friends to have a better life. That's your job. Your job as a parent to help your kids have a better life. Your job is to help your friends and family and neighbors have a better life. And that's possible. As I've been all over the world, and I've been to the slums of Calcutta, I've been to the Himalayas, to the Tibet, to see where the Buddhist monks were entombed. I've been all over. I've been to Thailand, I've been to all over China, I've been to the Great Wall of China, I've been everywhere. And the one thing that I know for sure, that 99.999% of the people want to help and to have a better life. And they're there to help you. That 1/100th, that 1 in 1,000, that 1 in 10,000 who gets all the media because they're doing stupid things or sensational, that's not wealth and that's not success. It sells newspapers, and it sells people watching TV, and it sells clickbait. So just be aware that's the game. That's the game they're playing. Let's avoid it. So now what do you do? Where do you go to get this great information? You go to the successmoneyfoundation.org. We are a network of best-selling authors, educators, and entrepreneurs and students. Guess what? You qualify. You are part of the network. We are dedicated to doing good in the world and to making it a better place. That's what we do. We do an awful lot of service work, because when you give, you get. Most people think you get and then you give. Nope, it's just opposite. You give and then you get. It's a spiritual law and it's a business law. Now, you can spend time, you can spend energy, you can spend money, you can do whatever, but that's of the 7 steps. That is step number 3. It's even before saving and investing. It's even before investing and spending. And if you'll do that, it will make a huge difference in your life. Now, as I was looking at some of this real estate that we owned, I was just reminiscent of the roller coaster that we've been on. You know, if on average, depending on where you're in the world, the average person lives to be about 76 years of age. Now, some live to be 86, but some of them, in order to be average, had to die at 66. Just on average. If you said the average is 76, some went all the way to 86, but some of them died at 66. So all of you have 4 quarters in your life. Let's just use the number 80 as an easy one to do that. Well, you got 4 quarters. When you're born until you're age 20, from 21 to 40, from 41 to 60, and from 60 to 80. Now, if you're lucky, you get overtime. But not everybody gets overtime. Not everybody gets overtime. And when you do earn overtime, you probably don't feel that great to be able to do anything. You've got to take action now. You've got to jump into it. Now, where are you? You're going to learn, you're going to earn, and you're going to return. And it's a game. And life's a game, and games are fun. So you've got to go play this game of life, and you got to play to win. You got to play to win. And if you're not failing, you're not running fast enough. You're not trying hard enough. You've got to go out and swing the bat. In America right now, we're playing the World Series, and you go back to Babe Ruth. Babe Ruth was the home run king. He hit more home runs than anybody else until Hank Aaron overtook him. But guess what? He also had the most strikeouts. He had the most home runs, and he had the most strikeouts. He lost. Michael Jordan, probably the greatest basketball player of all time. He had more game-winning, at the end of the game, shots that won the game. But he also had more where he lost, where he missed the shot. You got to take the shots. Take the shot. It's not fatal. It's just feedback. You got to get playing in the game, and you got to fail. You got to fail fast and then learn what doesn't work. Okay, that's the key. You can't just sit around and study it. You just got to get off your butt. You got to go start writing offers on real estate. You got to do some would you take this? Would you take that? And you start with a little property, and then you fail. This property I was looking at that we're right next door. We're at a nice resort here, but the property is a 12-unit building that I was an owner in, and it's right on the sand, and it was beautiful. And I owned that with some partners, and I was talking to the guy, and he says, well, the people who bought it after us, I've owned it in their family for almost 30 years now. And this is a long time ago when I was a partner in that building. And they handed it down from generation to generation. And it's a cash cow. It makes money. The value of that property's gone up dramatically. The rents have gone up dramatically. I mean, it's $600 a night to rent a room there. It's just crazy. It's crazy what inflation has done. And guess what? We're not done. It's not going to stop. When I was a kid, gas cost $10 a gallon, or excuse me, 10 cents a gallon. Okay, 20 cents a gallon. You know, when I was just a teenager, and you look at inflation, well, now it's here in California, it's $4, $4 or $5. It's gone up 40 fold. Inflation is here to stay. Inflation is going to crush you, because the governments of the world can't get their act together, and they can't balance their budgets, because what they do is they print more money. So if you had 10 apples and there was $10, every apple's worth $1. But if you all of a sudden print all this new money, which is the United States is doing, all these countries are doing, because that's how they pay their debts. Well, now if they print all this money and there's $20 in circulation, guess what? Each apple is now worth $2. If you own apples, that's great. You just doubled your money. But if you're buying apples, then it costs you $2 versus $1, and your job didn't make extra money. You've got to do the 7 steps. You got to survive and do the 7 steps. So that's why that is so important. And guess what? It's not going to change. Inflation's not going to change. When the governments of the world balance their budget and start paying off these trillions and trillions, you know, America's got $37 trillion worth of debt. Which they borrowed from their citizens, which they borrowed from other countries. And they have assets too, but they've got to have money to take care of that. You know, in America, we're spending $1 trillion a year just in interest. Now, where does that interest go? It goes to whoever has the debt. Individuals has that debt. Other governments have that debt. But the point is, that's the game, and that's the game that's being played. So we've got to learn what that game is and play that game and win that game. So that's why that's so important. So as I've been reminiscing where we're at, you know, I'm in my my 4th quarter. I'm 65. You're going to learn, earn, and return. And right now we're in a massive return mode. I was just thinking about this as, you know, I was here And, in my early 20s, well, I'll just tell you my story very simply is that when I was young, I'm one of 10 kids. I'm number seven. My mom and dad were born in 1930. They grew up during the World War II and the Great Depression. My mom and dad fell in love, started a family, had a big family. Both my mom and dad only had one sibling each, and they wanted a big family. And my dad started with my grandpa in the car business, and they literally would go out to these little cities around there. They would go knock on doors and say, "Do you have an old car that doesn't run? And would you be interested in selling it?" And they would buy these old cars, hook them up, tow them back to this little two-bay garage in a gas station, and they would fix up these old cars and they would resell them. And then we got a franchise to be able to start selling Chrysler products, and so we started, many many years ago, almost over 75 years ago. We're in our fourth generation in the car business, which is a terrible business, by the way. But they started that way, and my dad and mom started with nothing. They started with nothing, but they learned the principles. My dad is 4 days older than Warren Buffett. My dad taught me not by just sitting down and giving me a lecture, taught me by doing it and having us do it. So as a teenager, as a young kid, I was out selling door to door, selling Christmas cards, to people. I worked at a truck stop, washing dishes. I remember riding my bike all the way out to this truck stop so I could wash dishes for the truck stop. And as I made money, guess what? We invested it. My dad had me investing. I had my own stock portfolio. I was buying and selling stocks. I can still see the newspaper I had laying on the floor, and I was laying there watching, looking at the stocks and understanding the companies and watching TV at the same time. And I was doubling my money every 6 years by doing the things that my dad taught me. And we did it together. We would loan money to people that wanted to buy a car that didn't have good enough credit. And my dad taught me a lesson. He says, if you sell them a car, make sure that it runs. And if you finance it for them, they will pay you as long as you sell them a good car. Don't sell them a junky car. Sell them a good car that works, and then they'll pay you. If you sell them a crappy car, they're not going to pay you. So don't sell them a crappy car. Make sure it's a good car. And so we started doing that, and I started doing that with, and all of our families done that. Well, not everybody. Everybody that wanted to could do that, and I was making 12% on my money, and it was great. You double your money every 6 years. I learned those principles at a very, very young age. Now, what's interesting is that in my business career, I used those exact same principles. We just added zeros and commas and commas and commas, where we would finance different products, and we did millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of extra dollars in sales because of the little technique my dad taught me as a teenager. I remember very distinctly helping my dad work on the house that was next door. It was hot. I wasn't having any fun. And we're scraping off the old paint off this house because we could repaint it. And I says, Dad, am I getting paid? And he goes, no, son, get back to work. Well, I could see that wasn't quite the answer I was looking for. And I got the gumption to ask him again a little bit later, Dad, are you sure I can't get paid for doing this? And he goes, son, we bought this property so it'd have extra money to take care of you kids so we could help get you through college. Now, as a teenager, I didn't really care about college that much. And then he said something. He said, son, some people make so much money off their real estate, off of their small businesses, their investments. They don't have a job. They don't have a job. All they do is manage those things. Can you imagine a parent telling that to a kid as a teenager? You planted those seeds. What I'm teaching you are the things that I learned from my dad. My dad's 4 days older than Warren Buffett. He didn't make the money that Buffett made, but he taught his kids the same thing. When Warren Buffett passes away, on his headstone, he wants the word teacher on there. He wants to be known as a teacher more than he wants to be known as one of the world's greatest investors. And so I learned from my dad those things, and I used those techniques. I got a chance to listen to Robert Allen when I was going to college. I was in college, and he spoke at the university where I was attending. And when he spoke at the university, it just opened my mind. One of the great things about the executive lecture series, it was successful people that came in and talked to the students. And it wasn't some business law class that we were learning all about things that we're never going to use. It was real life. And just out of coincidence, I was able to go to a free seminar on nothing down, how to buy real estate with little or nothing down. And I went to that free preview and signed up. My brother was going to go, and my brother was going to pay full price because he was the first person. And I said, I'll tag along and I get in for half price. Good idea. Well, something came up. My brother couldn't go, and so I ended up going anyway. And I went to the seminar to go through the 2-day class. The lady called me up and says, "Hey, your brother didn't come, so the first person comes in has to pay full price." And I didn't have the money. I just didn't have it. I was going to college, and I says, "Can't we make up a student discount price?" And she goes, "Can you prove to me you're going to college?" I says, "I can." And I literally went outside into my car and grabbed my psych book and my physics book, and I brought those back in, and I showed the lady that I was going to college, and I asked her if I could stay, and she said I could stay. So it took, I didn't have much money, but money I had is what I used in order to be able to do that. And what happened was I spent 2 days going through the Nothing Down seminar. And the one thing I learned all kinds of strategies and techniques. My dad taught me about real estate, but Robert Allen had a system, a systemized way to do it. And the one thing I learned more than anything else was that it was possible. It was possible to do the things that he taught. And so I went out in the marketplace and I started looking at properties, started writing offers. The first piece of real estate I bought, I got an offer on it, got accepted. The deal was I got a chance to go and fix it up, paint it up, clean it up, because I was going to get financing on it, and I was going to make a nice big profit on it. I was going to make $15,000. And remember, this was in the early 80s, which was a lot of money. But I made one mistake. The guy that I was getting the financing with, the property didn't qualify because there was the bathroom was connected to the kitchen, which was really stupid. And I didn't know what to do. And I panicked and I gave the property back, and I lost. I didn't lose the money. I lost a little bit of money that I gave him, and I lost fixing it up. But for some reason, I had enough belief that it was possible. So the second deal I did is in the book called The Road to Wealth. And it's a true story of how we found property, fixed it up, and we made a really good profit on it. The third property I bought was a 4-unit small apartment complex that I owned for 40 years. And we donated that to the foundation. Since that time, I've bought millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars worth of real estate. And if I would have given up after that first failure, I would have never done that. I would have never done all that real estate. I failed, but I still had a belief that it was possible. And so I just kept trying. There's nothing wrong with failure. If you're not failing, you're not trying hard enough. In fact, I'm teaching my son-in-law about the real estate stuff, and we're writing offers. Guess what? You need to write 9 offers to get one accepted. If you're writing one offer and getting accepted, you're not getting a good deal. You make your profit the day you buy. You cash the check the day you sell. So you've got to start writing offers, and it's possible to do. It's a game, and the games are fun. So I was able to do that, and then something happened, just a little while after that. But I started doing those properties, and out of sheer coincidence, Robert Allen's office was in the same city that I was going to college in. So I found out where his office was. I went to his office. I knocked on his door, and I says, "Bob, can I get a job? I'd love to get a job with you." And he goes, "Well, what are your qualifications?" And being a college kid, I didn't really have any qualifications. And but I says, "I'll work for free. I just want to hang out with guys that are out there doing it." And they needed some guy to go out on the road and to set up chairs and help run one of the events that Bob was doing. And I did such a wonderful job. And I was asking him questions, "Bob, how do I do this? How do I do that?" And we would brainstorm the deals I was doing. And then I'd see him the next week, and he was my mentor. And it was awesome. And I got a chance to work really close with him. In fact, one time I was with him, and we were in New York City at CNN, the big TV station. And Bob, they said, "Well, Bob, I know you can do this." He'd accepted a challenge, and the challenge was send me to any city in America, take away my wallet, give me $100 for living expenses, and in 72 hours, I'll buy an excellent piece of real estate using none of my own money. Well, the Los Angeles Times challenged him to do that. They sent him to San Francisco, and there at the airport, he handed over his driver's license, his credit cards, everything. And in return, he was given $100 to survive in San Francisco. Well, he went on that marketplace, and he bought 7 properties. and gave $20 back to the reporter. He proved that it was possible to buy real estate with nothing down. But right after, after that, people say, well, I know you can do it, Bob, but I don't think the average person can do it. And he says, okay, well, I'll prove it again. So he said, send me to any unemployment line. Let me select someone that's out of work and discouraged. Let me spend 2 days teaching them the principles of wealth. And in 9 days, they'll be off the unemployment line with $5,000 cash in the bank, never to set foot in the unemployment line again. So he was making a gamble that the stuff he taught could work for anybody. The St. Louis Dispatch, which is the famous newspaper, challenged him to do so. And I was buying little houses and fixing them up. He was buying big apartment complexes. One of my teachers at the university I was attending, I brought him in with us, and we literally went to St. Louis. We went to 6 unemployment lines. We told people about this challenge. If they wanted to be part of it, all they had to do was show up to a screening process. And at that screening process, we picked 6 people. We told them they were all denied. And 3 of them reached out to us, found out where we were at, and says, I just want to be part of it, even if I have to sit in the back of the room. Guess what? We chose those 3 people. We taught them for 2 days, and then I was their periodic coach. I was just a young guy, and I was their coach. And I coached them over that 90 days over the phone. I didn't go visit them. I just, when they had questions, I helped them over the phone. Well, Steve and Mary did their property on their 89th day, and they made their money. Philip and Nora also made their money, but they did it just a little bit longer than the 90 days. And it's in the book. And the book is something you can download for free. It's called The Challenge. We also renamed it called The Road to Wealth. And those are some of the books that you have access to. And we did that same challenge over and over and over again with other people because we wanted to prove it. And so one of the great things that I've had the experience of doing is working with Bob Allen and taking his wonderful information and getting it out to the world, because it worked for me and it worked for you. And so we've had thousands and thousands and thousands of students that we've done that with. Now, I remember being on an airplane with Bob as we were flying to China, and I said, Bob, I really want to get this foundation off the ground. And he was all for it. Great. I love it. Now, you would think somebody that was making a lot of money would be, no, don't do that. That's stupid. Because it's opposite of what you think. The people that are selfish never make any money. The people that are giving are the ones that do. Give or get. So I told him the idea for the foundation. He goes, I'll support that. I love that. And here's some great materials that you can use, and I'll be available to help you whenever you need help. And that's when it was launched. It was literally, I made the decision. I was on an airplane flying to China because I got to travel all over China with Bob. And that's when I really decided to really go really heavy and to do that. So we created what we call the Protege Program. And the Protege Program is something that's wonderful. Now, on the foundation, you have access to the Success and Money Live class that we do. You have access to all these wonderful classes. You have access to be able to get financial rewards from us to help you get going. And we have a new program called the Protege Program. The Protege Program is a very intense program that you have to qualify to get into. It's very interactive, and we do it on a weekly basis. And that program, we sold that program for $5,000, $5,000 US dollars. It was very expensive to fulfill and very expensive to market. And we taught thousands of people, and our students made a lot of money. In fact, they made over $1 billion that we recorded onto the website, where they recorded their success stories. More importantly, they gave away $30 million to thousands of different charities, and they helped a lot of people. And that was wonderful. But I said, Bob, I want to be able to help the people that don't have that ability to come up with that kind of money. And so because of the high tech that we could do, we didn't have to deliver this face-to-face, toe-to-toe. We could do it online, and we could do it just like we do our classes now. And so instead of this being very expensive, we could do it for a much smaller amount of money. Now, as a nonprofit foundation, to get into this kind of a program, if that's something that's important to you, then you're welcome to click on the links that we'll provide, and you can get more information. It's not going to be $5,000 or $4,000 or $3,000 or $2,000 or $1,000. It's going to be a lot less than that. And you can even use some of your buffer bucks if you want to get into this advanced class. Now, what do we do with the money? It doesn't go to me. It doesn't go. What it goes to is to give out more money in our financial rewards. Remember the $3 million that my wife and I put into the foundation, its purpose is to be a corpus or an endowment, which means that we want to spend the money that it makes. So it makes money, and then we want to be able to spend that money. That way there will always be money in the foundation. This is a legacy project. And my goal is for the foundation to outlive all of us. And we do that by creating this endowment. Many of the universities have that. They have a big endowment, and then they spend the profits on it. So any of the money that comes in from these organizations, we use it for financial rewards. We use it when we do live classes. Because when we do a live class, face-to-face, toe-to-toe in organizations, or even online, we play the game of success and money where everyone wins and some win big. So that money goes there because we do financial rewards there. It goes for media and marketing, and it goes a little bit of it goes for some of our overhead. We've got some wonderful virtual staff. And we have a few costs in software, stuff like that. But this program is very intense, and you have to qualify to get into it. And we're going to spend time going through the 12-week class. Now, in the 12-week class, it's very intense. You're going to be coming to class. We're going to ask you to do things. We're going to put your information through the software, and we're going to do it with you. We're going to go through the 7 steps. We're going to go through the 7 steps of what you need to do in order to be successful. We're going to teach you how to make more money. Step number 1, make more money. And we do that by putting your information into the software and then having it show us what to do. We're going to teach you how to make more money with your small business, how to solve bigger problems, and how to study and what people to study for you to be successful. We're going to take it and we're going to go to step 2. We're going to separate your money and literally put it into the software and have it kick out your answers. We're going to teach you how to manage this and to learn about this on one piece of paper, basically on a napkin, and then we're going to convert that over to one page. You're going to manage your money on one piece of paper. Then we're going to teach you number 3. We're going to work with you on who to give the money to. Now, part of what we're going to do with this is that we're not going to charge you $5,000 to get into this class. We're going to ask you to make a donation back to the foundation. It's that simple. If you're willing to do that, we're willing to talk to you. If you're not willing to do that, generals talk to generals, and we're trying to create a group of synergistic people that want to work together. So if you're willing to do that, then we're willing to talk to you. If not, just go through the online classes. But you got to give back, and we're going to ask you to make a donation back to the foundation. Number 4, we're going to teach you about your investing. We're going to take your assets. We're going to take your investing. We're going to dump it into the software. We're going to put it in the software and see where it kicks out. And then we're going to give you some opinions of what we would tell you to do, of what best-selling authors and educators and entrepreneurs are doing, and give you some feedback. So we're going to look at your investments and your loan versus own. We're going to look at your spending. You got money coming in, money going out. Some of you have, which is just crazy, you've got all this credit card debt and you got a bunch of cash sitting in the bank making you nothing. We're going to help you by putting that into the software, moving it around and telling you how and what kind of an impact it would have on you. We're going to go into step 6, hardcore multiple streams of income. We're going to teach you and help you with your small business. Now, all of you need the small business, and we're going to take that small business and turn it into large business. There's only 3 things you can do. In businesses, I've done hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars in sales off of my businesses that I've been an owner or a stakeholder in. And I've been around the block. My little hand is autographed millions and millions of dollars because I paid all the bills and I paid all the money coming in and going out. But we're going to help you get that business. You got to learn we're going to teach you how to get more clients, how to get more people. Number 2, most importantly, is to get them to buy more. And number 3 is to get them to buy more often. We're going to take that small business and turn it into a large business. We're going to get into real estate. You need to have a home. You need to have a free and clear home. It's the only real hedge against inflation. When most people retire, the only real asset they have is their real estate, and they were forced to make payments on it. Well, a home is great, but we want to also have rental income. We want to find it, fund it, fix it, farm it, or flip it. And we're going to do that with your small businesses, and we're going to do it with real estate. Real estate is a big part of that. Now, you do the first 5 steps, you can be financially free. If you want to be wealthy, which you need to be because of long-term implications of all this inflation going on, We want to be wealthy. So we're going to go real hardcore into that. We're going to take your stuff, we're going to put it into the software, and we're going to give you the feedback. And it's going to be done with you. So we're not going to do it for you, but we're going to do it with you. Now, step number 7 in the software is the wealth formula. We're going to take all the things you're doing, and you're going to put it into the software, and we're going to look at your money that's coming in from your job and where's it going. We're going to look at your small business, turn it into a large business. We're going to look at your real estate, and we're going to look at your investments. And then we're going to look at each one of those and look at how you're investing it and figure out a better way to get a much higher rate of return with less risk. Then we're going to do that over time. We're going to build out your future. We're going to tell you where you're going to be in 20 years from now, 10 years from now. We're going to actually build that all out for you in the software. And it's going to tell you where you're going to be so you know the roadmap. And we're going to do that over time, and we're going to help you to become wealthy. Now, in order to be able to get part of this program, there's a cost to get into it. And again, that cost goes to help fund other students. It doesn't go to me. I've already donated the money to the foundation. All my books have that I've done, I've written for the foundation, and all that goes to help fund more student financial rewards, because we've got thousands and thousands of you that we've sent money to already. So if you want to be part of that, there'll be a link provided for you, and you can click on that, and then you can apply to be part of that. You can also use some of your bonus bucks, your Buffett bucks, to be able to get into that. So that's the Protege program that I want you to be aware of. And the greatest part about that is that you get to work with a like-minded group of people. It's a much smaller, much more intensive basis. You'll be bringing your deals to class, and as a group, we'll be analyzing them together. We'll give you our opinion. You get the feedback. You'll have access more to me and to my team to, once you get the information software, to help you tweak it. And you can do that with a partner. We call that the Protege Plus. And you can do that with a partner. And again, where's the money go? Well, it goes to financial rewards. It goes to do our live events. It goes for media and stuff like that. It's all just part of the foundation. And you can be part of that. You can be just a regular protege, or you can say, hey, I need a scholarship. I just need a scholarship, or I need a scholarship and I need to use some of my Buffett bucks to get into it. So there's more information that you can learn about it. But that's the Protege program. That's the next step. For some of you, most of you are not there yet. Honestly, you don't qualify because you're not doing it. You're just still sitting on the sideline. You got to get off your butt. You move it. You got to get off your butt and start taking some action, because we're going to hold your feet to the fire. We're going to pat you on the back, and we're going to kick you in the butt to get it going, because we want you to win this game of life. So make a difference, make it happen. Remember that every life is precious, and that you've been put on this earth to make a difference in people's lives. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in class.